booth and awaiting you fans to greet them for a few autographs here today. We can see them making the ways across the track right now. And among the drivers scheduled to be on hand today, next we're checking to see who we have scheduled to be out here. But in any event, the next race we have coming out onto the Speedway right now is our figure 8 qualifying heat. And here to call the action is Jason Trainer. And sitting on the point for the figure 8s will be the 41 machine of Scott Pastorius out of Delvin. Right behind him we will find the 141 of Martin Hughes out of Holland, a local favorite right here at the Speedway. Sitting third, we find the 170 of Chris Ford out of Buffalo. The 266 of Bob Morgan will fall next in line, followed by the 0 of Rich Perkins. The 09, we're not exactly sure who is behind the 09, and I understand now that it is Kyle Murphy behind the 09 machine. Kyle Murphy coming to us mid-season right here at Holland Speedway. The 71, we're not exactly sure who is the driver behind the number 71, but we'll catch you up with a name as soon as we are able to do so. We will call him the Beehive Machine, the number 71. But the 41 will be shown from the point. Scott Pastorius from the top spot at the 141, a couple strong horses going 1, 2, and 3 here. Martin Hughes will be shown in second. Chris Ford in the 170 in third as we review the top four. Bob Morgan in the 266 will be shown in fourth, followed by the 0 of Rich Perkins. Smaller field on hand today, and green flag is out. We're going to be circling out off the figure 8 track onto turns 2 and 1. And the 41 machine of Scott Pastorius trying to fight off the attack. Here comes the 141 of Martin Hughes. We're going to have a changing of the guard. And your new throne position is the one belongs to the 141 of Martin Hughes to the north end of the Speedway up towards turn 4 off the north end. Now they approach the X, the 41 of Scott Pastorius riding in the back pocket with the 170 of Chris Ford bringing around that third spot. The 266 of Bob Morgan in fourth. The smoke flies from the 41, Scott Pastorius, and the 170 of Chris Ford as well. They approach the X. The Beehive getting by the X with the 141 of Martin Hughes. Martin Hughes able to sneak by that as well. And they sort things out, they wheel and deal it, and the 141 of Martin Hughes controlling the racing action. The 170 of Chris Ford able to slip by and take over that second spot from the 41 of Scott Pastorius. They approach the X again. This thing's getting close. It could get ugly here at Holland Speedway. Figure 8 racing right here. And the 141 able to get by once again Martin Hughes. The 170, Chris Ford riding in the back pocket. The 41 of Scott Pastorius out of the north end. They approach the X. They're on the brink and on the edge once again. The 266 of Bob Morgan looking for some sort of racing room around the south end now with the 0 of Rich Perkins around, and a little bumper shuffle as they almost hit the retaining tire, and the 41 able to hang on. Scott Pastorius as he was shown through the infield, and now he makes contact with the retaining tire on the north end. The tire going amiss on the 41. Ride him, cowboy, because the 41 is able to hang on. Scott Pastorius, they approach the X. The Beehive gets by side action at the X with the 170 of Chris Ford and the 266 of Bob Morgan. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. Right here at Holland, the figure 8 racing, when the 41 of Scott Pastorius is able to continue on from the back of the pack. He does a little dipsy-doo-dah on the north end once again, and polar moment, if you will, for the 41, trying to back out of the situation, and hopefully he's not stuck. You see the tire smoke out of the north end. They bring it on down to the wire once again, and the racing leader now has to time it just right, and the black flag is out for the 41 machine because you can see the damage on the right side on the tire up front of the 41. But your racing leader in the 141, Martin Hughes, still controlling it, and black flag still out for the 41 machine. And a horde of traffic back through the pack with the 0 of Rich Perkins doing battle with the 170 of Chris Ford. The battles for that third spot, the 266 of Bob Morgan currently in second. They time it just right and able to sneak by once again. The white flag is out one more. Turn the wheel here for qualifying. The 0 of Rich Perkins taking a dive down into the infield. A party of bubbles on the south end and the north end as well with the 141 of Martin Hughes. He'll bring it on down off the north end. He'll approach the X, able to sneak by for the qualifying win. Martin Hughes, the 266 of Bob Morgan second, the 170 of Chris Ford third, the 0 of Rich Perkins fourth, and the 09 machine of Kyle Murphy coming in fifth. Oh my, some great racing followed by the 71. And we'll catch you up with the name on the 71 as soon as we find out for feature time. But ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you. How about big hand for the 141 multiple feature winner here in the 99 season, Martin Hughes out of Holland.
Good run for Marty Hughes. I want to find out who this Bubbles is and where her party happens to be taking place. Well, we check out for Bubbles' party here. We have our selected entries for our Fisher-Price Power Wheels Junior Racing Challenge. If we call your name, we want you and either your parent or the adult you're here with to please report to the starters stand area. Andrew LaJoy, 6 years old, from East Aurora. That's Andrew LaJoy from East Aurora. Ryan Fishback, you're 4.5 years old and live in East Aurora. Ryan Fishback of East Aurora.